Hello, I'm here with a new video tutorial. I want to do this time the Knight Castellant, or yeah, the Lord Castellant I should be. So first I want to show you what I did, was my preparation before I start painting this miniature. So I did the base as always, as I normally do. I keep only the legs on the base and I keep the body separated. So in any moment I can assemble them together. Why I do that is because I want to paint correctly the inside of the cloak, and as you can see, when this is assembled, it's quite difficult to reach any part. Even this part is going to be challenging to paint it correctly, because you have to go through the legs are partially covered, so you have enough difficulties when this part is really assembled. I was hesitating if not to assemble two legs together. This is up to you, but I think this is the maximum you should assemble to have a good painting. I leave also this part alone. This part goes here, just on top of the armor. I want to have good access to the armor. Even this part, the lantern, I glue it, and now I'm thinking if I'm going to glue, or I cannot do it because I will break the miniature, but it's difficulting a lot here the access. So yeah, this miniature, once it's assembled, have parts that are very difficult to access. And I keep the head separated. I want to work well on the head. I don't want anything disturbing around the head. It's one of the main important parts of the miniature normally, and I want to have full access to the head. Here we have some runes. I will think I have to. I still have some open points how I want to paint some of the details. I think I will figure out once as the miniature is more advanced, and see, and depending on how the colors are looking like, to put them together. As you can imagine, I will go for my green, gold and purple colors, the same as I use for my what you call this, the Lord Celestian on Dracot. Yeah, and let's start doing. So the first step that I will do, I will start with the brown that goes in most of the recesses of the armor, and I will do brown because it goes in very deep in some of the recesses. So the brown I use I will apply first all the base colors, and then after that I will start doing the highlights. I will start applying Dumble brown, okay, on all the different joints of the armor. And also, if you know me, I do this type of ribbons or parchments. I also do them on brown to look like how it's called this, engraved leather, or leather with engraved runes. So I'm using Dumble brown. I will go, as you can see, I prime this with the two parts together, and they were no glue, but they stand very well together. So this part, the prime went very well in, but it's not a problem. So it's on plastic, and this part that is going to be hidden, you can paint anyway. So I will do this joint of the armors. I will work this, and I will be back once this is done. No mystery here. I just apply a thin layer, and be sure that you don't cover any detail, that you keep the texture of the parts that you are painting, because we are going to use some washes later on, and we want a very good definition. We don't want to cover any slot, any detail there. So yeah, just applying the brown. I like to apply this precisely. If you go out, this way I'm doing further brown, because for example here there is a part that has difficult access. I go from here. If I go on top of the armor, I know that the armor I'm going to do later the armor, and I will be able to do the necessary corrections and cleanups later on. So just that. I will cut here. I will be back once the brown is applied, because there is not much mystery, and in case I find something interesting, I will just connect the video. So the brown color is done, and the next step that I will do is I will apply the Sivarit green on the miniature. I will go for a new one because this is quite used. I will use this one. Okay, we are going to apply a thin layer of Sivarit green. almost done, I go for a new color. And again, as we did on the brown, we just apply a thin layer. We want not to avoid to dirt the work we did with the brown, so we have to be careful where we have brown color applied, but the rest of the miniature we are going just to apply it. And yeah, I will also avoid to go into the parts that I will paint later on white. I like to keep the painting as clean as possible, but yeah, I'm not using the most. I think I will take a bigger brush. Sorry. So, but here there is not much mystery, and this is why one of the reasons why I didn't assemble it the top, because now it's much easier to reach. For example, this side of the foot, it's going to be visible, but you cannot attack from the back if you have. You cannot go from the back if you have the cape completely there. So this is why I like to paint before assembling this part. It's very important when you paint a miniature to understand how the parts interact to each other and to see if any part is blocking another. So it happens sometimes, for example here, I realized that I didn't clean this correctly, so I will need to clean this before keeping working. I will go for the other leg in the meantime. So just apply a thin layer, well controlled, try to avoid chalkiness or accumulation of paint, and yeah, and that's all. So not much mystery here. It's quite straightforward. I like to apply first all the base colors, and when I have all the colors, all the color combinations, then I start painting. I start doing the highlights and the different effects. So yeah, I will keep applying this, and I will be back once the green is applied. So the green is done. Okay, I start applying just the base colors at this moment. And the next one I'm going to apply is the white. Well, the parts that will go light will go like white, but I don't use white. I'm using Gauss Blaster Green, and we're going to use this just as we use the other thin layer, and in the parts that I'm going to paint whitish. So this is going to be the knee protections here. Okay. And the shoulder pads in that miniature. I need to check there if I do on any other part. So I will do this, apply again. I go fast in that part because there is no much to say. Just applying base colors and preparing the miniature to do the more interesting job later. Okay, as you can see, the light green is done. I had to do 2 layers here to make it a little bit solid. Also on the shoulder pads, the part that are visible, and the knee protections. Now I'm going to use color that I mainly use. I have a doubt, and I was looking how to do these runes here. And I decided to go to change and to break a little bit the color. I will go with the blue that I do for the OSL. But in that case, I will not do OSL on the runes because they are engraved and they will not look correctly. So I will just paint this on Bajarro blue. This is the color I'm going to use. I'm going to paint this on with Bajarro blue, and I think I will use a little bit more of this blue on other parts or white, because if not it will look too brown, I think, because there are a lot of these parchments, and I want to avoid to have all brown. So in that case I will do this, and then I will use a wash just to pop up all the runes, and then I will clean the wash later on. So these runes are super well engraved on the plastic, so they are going to work very easily with a wash. So let's just put some of this electric blue here. So if I went a little bit of camera, I have to. So let's put a little bit of this electric blue here, and yeah, and that's all. So I will leave it like that at this moment. Again, maybe I change mine when I start doing the rest of the miniature, but this is so far what I want to do. I may use this same blue. Yeah, I think I will use the same blue here on these runes, and then in that case I will do the opposite. The runes will go on white. Okay, and I'm doing that because then the frame goes in gold and it's easier to do the frame than the inside. Okay, we want that they all have a nice blue. Okay, the sun clock I need to think. I think I will go for green glass with the sun inside. All the rest is going to be quite goldy. So this is this part, and then on the helm I will do the same. I will go for this bluish color. This will create different points together with the glowing of the eyes. I think will look okay. And then I will put also the same blue will be the glowing of the weapon. So I think it will work. Hopefully. If not, means that I will fail here. But always experimenting and seeing how I can do. I want to keep this on all these type pastel light colors. So let's see if that works, and I think they should contrast well with the gold. I will do the yellow basically on gold. Okay, there's another part. We have to think that we are going to have gold over here, and then the lamp I need to think if I do the comet in blue, or I do the lamp I will leave it as it is. Need to think about the lamp as well. I think I will do all the runes in the same way, so I will also apply this on the lamp runes. So the next color I will do after applying the Baharo blue, this was the color I applied for the blue, Baharo blue. The next color I'm going to apply is the gold. And to do the gold I use the one that I like most, and I'm using is Retributor Armor. I think since Games Workshop launched, this one is the only gold I'm almost using. We go for a thin brush, and I will start now painting more detailed. Here I know that I will paint all the gold. I will do all the things that go gold. Most likely these ones I will need to retouch. I will not do glowing here because it will not contrast with the rest of the miniature, as I did all the blue tabber there, all this blue on that part. So I will paint again the armor first. I will paint it all together. I see that there are some things, this lining here, maybe we want to pick some of the linings with silver or another color to make this to pop up. So I will leave it on white at this moment. Just I will paint the scales. Now the point is also painting the parts, but at the same time using the color to differentiate the different details and see how it's looking like all together. So this will go violet and purple, and here I will do only the bottom part. I know that more likely I will need to touch. I didn't paint this part when I did the brown, and I should do, but well, it's not a problem. Always there are parts that you will forget and you will need to go back and paint. As you can see, I'm doing thin layers again of Retributor Armor. I will paint all the, or try to cover all the gold parts. hopefully I missed very little, and I will be back once this is done. But at this moment I'm not using, I go fast here because I'm not using any strange technique, just applying the base colors. I have to say that I'm experimenting at the same time that I'm painting this miniature. Maybe some things I'm experimenting I will need to change. It's the first time, well, not the first time, but I'm quite familiar with the color scheme because I've been using for my Age of Sigmar army, for my Storm host. But each time that is a miniature, it's a little bit of experimenting how to stretch yourself and how to keep the same color scheme, but adapting it to the new miniature, because this is a character and you want it to pop up, so you want to have something that is distinguish him from the rest of the army. And yeah, and I think I will only paint one Lord Castellant, so I don't think I will paint more than one of these guys, although they look quite interesting for the Stormcast Eternals. So I will paint all the gold and I will be back once this is done. So as you can see, now the gold is done. I will not do the purple. I will now focus on finishing first the bottom part. I will do the purple here behind, but the first thing I want to show you, and as you can see, when you do the gold, you see that you miss some parts that maybe go brown. So it's good, it's the reason I apply first all the base colors. So now I will go with brown and I will do some little parts that I missed before. Okay. And I will also do this part here in the front of this tabard. So I will do this. What I want to do in this first step is to eliminate, sorry the light is to eliminate all the white, to cover all the primer with the base colors. I know that there are people that prefers to go zone by zone, or to do first one zone to the. What I prefer to do is first to cover all the primer with the base colors, in order to know how the miniature will look like and how the distribution of the colors will look like, how the balance, and then I can use this to rebalance if it's needed or to change my mindset. So this is helping to visualize how the miniature will look like once is finished, once you applied all the base colors. I will not do, for example, one part that maybe I don't need to cover now is the sunglass. I think I will go for a bluish. I can put now the blue just to show me that this will go with bluish color, and I will use the brown to do the sun inside. Well, I can go for greenish, but I think bluish will work better. So as you can see, and then I do all these ribbons here, or belt, or what is this about. We'll do all them on browns, but I will put some more purple than what I did on the Lord Relictor. I realize the Lord Relictor maybe I have more brown, between the brown and the gold have quite a more brownish tone, more warm. And this one I will go more with some purples and greens, try to make it him also different and not to balance the palette to another tonality. So, okay. So I also realized now that I missed some parts with the gold, so I go back with blue, and then with blue I will do, for example, this part here. I don't know what this represents, this box, but I will do this part on blue, The other thing I want to show, the lamp is all on gold. Most likely I will change this later on. I will do this more decoration on the lamp, but I keep it all in gold to see how it's looking like. You see now it's pretty basic all painting. Most likely I will do, the first part will cover all the base colors, and the fun thing most likely will come on the next part, as yeah, I will need to split the video in smaller parts to make it easier to edit, to make it easier to upload. If it's too long, I have problems with the edition of the video. So yeah, here I'm just applying all the basic colors. Again, I will need to do more work on the on this glass cloak or glass, yeah. Okay, I will. And also, when you apply the base colors, you realize what are the parts that are more difficult access. So it will give you an idea what is the order that I will need to start doing the fine work. Now, if I do a mistake, it's not that bad because I have not did any fine work, but later on it will be more important. Here I have this light jewel or lining. I will go for blue as well. So I will add some blue in that middle. There will be more blues than others. If I go, it's the way also to make pop up, and I want to limit. I don't want to start adding more colors than the palette I use for the army. So this is why I try to limit myself, but at the same time I want good contrast to make the details and to make the visible the details. If I make this lining here in gold, will not have good contrast because I'm doing also all this thing on gold. So it's better to choose another color, and I think glue, and maybe I will make some glowing on that one. So I will keep it like that at this moment. And the last thing is I will use Naharot purple. Now we will focus on the legs, and yeah, applying the base colors is going to be the same for the rest. So I will not cover in detail maybe. As you can see the top part, the only thing is the cloak is the only thing that is missing. But now I will go with Naharo purple, Naharo Night, sorry, something it's called. Naharo Night, if you want to see. Okay, and I will apply this to this tabard, and the difficult part now is, because I assembled that, is the back part of this tabard. So you want to be sure that you cover with purple and you don't miss any gap. I will go deep here, try to find the right angle to reach what you want to paint. So you see, okay, I will do this, and there is not much mystery, and I will be back once the purple is done. I will do also the cloak, or I don't know, maybe I will leave the cloak for later. I think I will do the cloak to see how all is looking like, and I will put everything together to see how they look like. Okay, so I will keep playing base colors. If I play a new one, I will just connect the camera. So yeah, the purple is applied now. You see on the cape here, and now yeah, I will not apply more base colors. I need to think how I will do these parts, but I can do this later. I want to start focusing more on doing now the nice job, and to do that I will do that in the next video. So I will finalize here. I just apply the base colors. Most likely I don't like too much how this blue is looking like here, so I might need to do some changes in that part, make it whiter. But now we are going to start the fun part and start doing the shades and the highlights. So yeah, let's finish here the first part to help on the edition and to make the video easier to manipulate. And yeah, that's all for now, and let's see you back on the second part. Bye.